Hi, this is Curt, and welcome to another edition of Fire Law Roundup.
And this is a lot about a little, right? There's a lawsuit now in Utah. A woman was involved. It took me a couple times trying to figure out what happened here, but a woman was involved in a crash. And there's a lawsuit now against the responders because they said they injected too much ketamine. And it is a very esoteric complaint lawsuit. It's strange. It looks more like a scientist than a lawyer wrote it. But it's on camera apparently. And they're saying, hey, there's not much question. My only question with ketamine is, what was the policy you had to follow? And did you follow the policy, right? Did you act in accordance with what your, the administration requirements on ketamine were, right? And if they did, they should be okay. If even if it was too much, as long as they followed the policy. If they didn't and it was discretionary, well, wait a minute. Maybe there's an immunity defense based on discretion. Or on the other hand, maybe it was inappropriate. But all we have now is an allegation. You made the point in your blog that they didn't sue the driver who actually was arrested, who caused the crash, who was actually arrested and I think convicted of murder.
He was convicted of murder, yeah.
Yeah, so geez. But we don't know much more. I will say ketamine, you would know better. That word ketamine just keeps coming up into so many of these lawsuits.
Yeah.
So many things are based, it seems, on ketamine, as opposed to morphine or any other drug we've seen before. Ketamine is now like just filling all these lawsuits. I don't know.
It is, and I think that's unfortunate. My son, Andrew, is a surgeon, and I remember when I first read about it, I asked him, I said, what's up? Do you guys use that? He goes, Dad, we use it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We use it all the time. It's got outside of the hospital is a little different than in the hospital, but outside of the hospital, it's the risk of a mistake has much more dire consequences. But the sort of flippant use, I think one of the problems with ketamine was it was being used or was being requested by law enforcement. Yeah. From the paramedics, and paramedics were administering it to patients, not for medical reasons. Other than so they wouldn't have to wrestle or fight with the person. But, I think the term, as I understand it, the term is dropping them down the K-hole.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. I've heard that many times.
Night.
Yep.
But
look, it's a horse tranquilizer. I mean, this is serious stuff,
So, I don't know. We'll see. If it's a beneficial type of medication, I hate to see it pulled off because of hysteria about it. But certainly we do see an awful lot of litigation. Much more so, I don't recall seeing anywhere near the amount of litigation on any other med that we administer. I could be mistaken, but I don't recall, just anecdotally. I could go through my database, but I don't. In fact, I have a category for ketamine in my database, and there's no other medication that has even approached that the need for a separate category. And you think we've had fentanyl, we've had morphine, and
that was my thought. Other than fentanyl early on, right? We've never had anything like this. But I think the lawsuit fails. I'm just going to give my prediction for something that was said in the complaint. They said it was a very rare side effect. Right. And I think once you say that it's very rare, well, then how's anyone supposed to know? I think that's an uphill battle. Also, you've got the proximate cause issue. If it goes to trial, she's already a seriously injured patient with a head injury. And now you've got to prove that the ketamine caused the death and was the only thing that would have caused the death, and she would have survived otherwise. It's a very tough suit.
A couple of factual questions in there. One was the allegation is that CPR wasn't started immediately, which I find hard to believe, and I guess you'd have to look at the video, but that was one of the allegations. There's also an allegation that I think the dosing was 500 milligrams, and apparently the medic who prepped the vaccine, prepped the shot, or prepped however they were getting it into her, didn't expect that the medic who actually pushed it was going to administer the whole thing. And so again, I don't know about just how much is appropriate for a given weight, given circumstance. So I'm you know, I'm a firefighter. I don't pretend to be a
So
doctor, but
we'll see more on it.